I have a master grant template, but we are not winning grants. So this is a question that from time to time I have been asked by non-profit at why it is happening this way. Because now what they tell me is that they were promised by a grant writer that if they have a master grant template, then it will automatically lead to securing grant opportunities. But this doesn't happen this way in real life. So, in case you are asking the same question, then you'll get your answer today. So, you are asking, I have a master grant template, but we are not winning grants. So, why is it happening like that? So, have your answer today. So, welcome to the Elite Experience Podcast. This is the grant edition, and today is all about master grant template. So, why does it happen like that? Like, how does it go that you have the master grant template, but you use it in your grant proposals, but you don't get results. And now, by results, I mean don't secure those grant opportunities. And now the reason that you are not winning the grant opportunity is that you are using the master grant template the wrong way. So, what is the wrong way of using the master grant template? The wrong way is by copy pasting your master grant template. So, here you have your master grant template, then you take it and just copy paste on your grant proposal, and then you submit it to the grantor. Now, if you do this, then this is the main reason that you are not seeing results from your master grant template. And this is because that when you look at the other side now, so from the side of the grantor now, you have received this grant. The first thing you notice about it now, so this is the reviewer who is looking at this grant. Notices that the grant is very generic, like like this could have been written by anyone. Like in the marketing world, we talk about send it like it is the kind of email that it is sent to 1,000 people. So this is the same way that the reviewer feels when they receive your grant. Like you have not put any effort into it. I just copy pasted it. Like it becomes so easy to know that it has been copy pasted, and now it's because it is very vague. Like the language that is used in that proposal, very vague, and it kind of seems like an imagination. The second thing is that the project, when the reviewer is now reading your grant, they don't get that connection between your project and the, the organization. So, like, when they look at that connection that you have between the project that you want to do and your non-profit, and on the other hand, you have the funder now. There's no alignment between what the grantor want to do through that funding opportunity and how your project and your non-profit is aligned with that grant opportunity. So that is the second thing. The third thing is that when you submit this proposal now, just take your master grant template and now you copy paste it to your grant proposal, and now you submit that grant proposal. What happens is that you end up not following the guidelines that the funder has in place for that specific grant opportunity, and also you end up not meeting the requirements that in that grant opportunity. So, like, what happens is that when you just copy paste and submit now without going through the every detail of the grant opportunity, we end up with this situation whereby the grantor has instructed you to do this about you are looking for that grant opportunity, but for you, you end up doing something completely different. And now, when you do that now, this end up causing you the grant opportunity. So when you take your master grant template and just copy paste it to your grant proposal and then submit that grant proposal, you end up costing yourself the grant opportunity because now that is the number one reason for grant being rejected, and that is grant that is not aligned, a grant that is low quality. So low quality grant now, this is the generic proposal that could have been sent to a thousand other funders. So this is an organization which does not follow guidelines. It does not meet the requirements of this grant opportunity. So you end up being disqualified even before the grant reviewer really knows what your nonprofit is about, or and even what your project is about, and what the impact that you are looking to make. So that is the reason that you have a grant master grant template, but you are not winning the grant opportunity that you are you have used that master grant template to apply to. So how do you change this situation? So instead of copy pasting your master grant template, so instead of taking your master grant template and just pasting it on your grant proposal and submit it in, there is one more step that you need to add to that process, and this step is customization. So customization is about taking that generic master grant template that is used for everything and then customize it now. So this is about finding ways to connect it to this specific funder, and then now after doing that, now you can submit that grant, because now at that point you will be having a quality, uh, high quality grant proposal. And now there are three steps to this customization process. And now the first one is before you copy paste your grant proposal. So let's say you have taken your master grant template and now you have put it in place so that you can now prepare your grant proposal. So before you submit it, make sure that you go through the grant opportunity and make sure that you know all about the guidelines that the funder has for that specific grant opportunity, and you meet all the requirements that grant has put in place before you apply for that grant. So when you do that now, you'll be able to know the format that the grantor is looking for. You'll be able to know the number of pages that are expected to write. You'll be able to know sections that should be there in your grant proposal, so that you can know if it is something that is not in your grant template, you can add it. If it is something that your grant template has, but it's not you're not instructed to use it in your grant proposal, you can take it away. So this help you in getting the formatting, the number of pages, sections, and the alignment now into place, so that you now get through the first hurdle. The second hurdle is aligning your grant project with your grantor's priority. So every grant opportunity has a specific priority that the grantor is looking that the grantor is looking to have an effect on through that grant opportunity. So, like for example, you can have an organization that deals with all non-profit from all the world, but for this specific non-profit, it can be only specific to a certain region. So that now help you to ensure that your grantor is you are aligned with that grantor supporting. So in that case, you have to make sure that you are in that region. So another thing is that maybe the organization funds different courses. So you have to be aware of which course that particular funding of grant funding opportunity will be focused on. And now the other thing is about that type of non-profit that the grant is looking to partner with. So you have to make sure that when your organization is the kind of organization that the grantor is looking to partner with. Now the final hurdle now the third hurdle to customizing your grant proposal is about adding a grant narrative to your template. So most of the times the template that you have is very generic, like it doesn't have the meat to it. So we can say that it just has the bones, but it doesn't have the meat around it. So the grant narrative now is now the meat that you add to those bones, so that you can now have a complete person. So this is about like the way you look about it is that like now when you look at your body. So the matter grant template now this is all the bone structures in your body, but now the grant narrative is the meat that covers your body. So like for me now, I have a bone through in my hand, but you have the meat. I have the meat covering the hand. So the bone now is the matter grant template, and now the skin now is the customized grant proposal. It's now the narrative that you use in your grant proposal. So that's the way that we look at it. So instead of just copy pasting your master grant template onto your grant proposal and submitting it, you add the customization to it. So it becomes copy pasting and then customization, and now you can now submit that grant proposal. And now the three ways to customize your grant proposal is that the first one is follow the grant opportunities, guidelines, and requirements. So make sure that you read them and you understand what the grantor is looking for. The second one is align your project with your grantor's priorities. And the final one is add a grant narrative to your master grant template. So when you paste your master grant template to your grant proposals, make sure that you add the narrative. So this is the stories, adding the explanations, adding the justifications of your project as a non-profit, the beneficiaries. So you want to use all this and also adding the research that support your work. So you want to put all this together so that you don't end up submitting a generic grant proposal, but when you do all these three things, you end up with a very high quality grant proposals. And now grantors are looking for high quality grant proposals that shows that this organization knows what it is doing and that this project has everything put in place to make it successful. So that's all for today. And if you have a master grant template and are not winning grant, add the customization to your master grant template, and now we'll start seeing different results in your grant seeking. So that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next session. So bye bye. Customize. Carpe diem.